Now in my business, I only respond. I only move with my sacral authority, which means from people out there, it's like, what the fuck is that? We've all got an authority, and it's how we move and make decisions. And if you have a sacral authority, if you're looking up your chart right now and you see sacral, you know that there is a little yes inside of you immediately, and it lights you up, and that's a generator and manifesting generator thing. And if you don't move on that, or if you it will fade out, and that really good idea, you'll see somebody else do it and you'll be like, damn it. But it's one of those things where it's meant to be. It's within you, and you have the energy then to do it. So anyway, it was a sacral hit.
Welcome to the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, a podcast dedicated to helping women navigate the emotional journey that is divorce. I'm your host, Erica, and if you're trying to figure out life after the big D, welcome to the club. Whether you're contemplating divorce or dealing with the aftermath or any of the many phases in between, the club has got you covered. Each week, you'll hear stories from women who have been in your shoes. This isn't about spilling tea on divorce details. This is about giving you the tools to take control of your own healing journey. Listen in weekly for advice, tips, and tools to help you move through each stage of the process. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Crazy Ex-Wives Club. I'm your host, Erica, and today I have Karla Maree with me. Now, Karla Maree is a business strategist, a human design expert, and she rebuilt her entire life and business after divorce. She scaled to 7 figures. She honored her energetic design instead of forcing that masculine productivity, and has now created tools so that you can also find this purpose, find this passion, and make it easy. Make it work with who you are. So welcome to the show, Karla.
Thank you for having me, Erica. This is really exciting.
Yeah, I am so excited to dive into this topic because human design is so complicated.
I know, we were just
one.
chatting before this and you were like, oh my God, human design. I'm like, it is really, can I swear here? Can I swear?
You sure can.
Yeah, great. It's really fucking complicated. And it's been like, my work to kind of go, how can I make this easy for people to understand? And that's literally where my brain goes. It's just like been this little warren of like, how do I do this? Yeah. So yeah,
I love that. So
yeah.
before we jump too far into it, right? Because I want to spend a lot of time today helping you guys understand what human design is and how can you leverage it to understand what your purpose is or where you're getting stuck or where you're blocked. But before that, you are a fellow divorcee. You have made the post-divorce transformation, and divorce was a beautiful catalyst in your life. So tell us a little bit about that first.
Okay. Married for 22 years, been with the same childhood's, 27 years I was with him. So I was 20, he was 18. So yeah, it was pretty huge. We've had children together, gone through pretty much everything you can together. I went to Greece. We went to Greece to pattern interrupt our life. Like, I hadn't been happy for a really long time, but as you know, and probably everyone listening, you try everything you can to not do the thing. It's like, we're not fickle people. We're just, we want to do our best. And I don't know, I was in Greece and I didn't want to come back to my life. And it all dropped on me there. Like, Greece I'm half Greek, and I was on the island that my dad was born on, and I could see where my ancestors were from right across the sea, like from Turkey. And I had this moment and I could feel them all around me. And I'm not really that, like, I feel things and I am a little bit woo-woo, but I'm quite grounded. But this was quite a spiritual experience. And I don't know, I just had this thing just starting to kind of come over me. And I just knew I wasn't happy in my life. And of course, it never makes sense when something just drops on you like that when you suddenly awaken. Looking back now, it's just disassociated for many, many years. And I just woke up. And so I remember being on the plane with a blanket pulled over me because I was crying. I didn't want to come home. And I spent 2 months after that trying to understand what the fuck was happening, and realized that I loved him, but I wasn't in love with him anymore. And that there was a very deep pull for me to build my own life. And if I stayed with him, then I would never see the full potential of what I could be.
Yeah. It can be such a catalyst, and it's like once you see it as an option, like, once you hear that whisper or hear that calling, it's such an unraveling of all the pieces and trying to figure out who you are
Yeah.
outside this life.
Yeah. And I didn't know who I was outside. I had gone from my parents and my home life to him, and who was I? It's like it's almost like after the divorce, I grew up. It's like I grew up, and it wasn't an easy separation either. He had a lot of emotional upheaval, which resulted in a lot of abuse. The thing is, the marriage did have a lot of his emotional upheavals all the time, which was, when I look back, emotional abuse. But I never kind of make it like it was his fault. Like, there's always two people in a marriage that are doing toxic things. And after, I saw what his thing was, I couldn't deal with any more nervous dysregulation or disassociation anymore. I wanted to be treated better. I wanted to be respected. And that was like a deal breaker for me. The fights, it was hurting my children, it was hurting everything. So I had to leave. And yeah, so after that was a good year and a little bit of like abuse, if I could put it plainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really hard.
Because it doesn't start that way. It's like little bits, little that gradually then suddenly goes from, "Oh, it was a fight or it was this," to it becomes too much. It dysregulates your nervous system, and then you're
Our
constantly
fights had
on edge.
always our whole fights were always crazy. So, yeah, just two very emotional people, maybe myself not being emotionally aware when I was younger as well. Just there's lots of things. I won't go into all of that. But yeah, the breakup was very hard.
Mhm.
But what it taught me was gold. Like, I went from a people pleaser, codependent, doing so. Let's have a look at this in my business. I didn't want to do, lots of things. I'd burn out constantly because I would overgive, overgive, overgive. And I was always the emotional savior. I didn't want people to be disappointed. I didn't want people to be upset about anything. So I would do everything I possibly could to make them feel better. And obviously, this was happening in my relationship too. Once I just drew the line, I said, "You don't treat me like this anymore." And I was literally giving back one liners. My God, the resilience that I started getting and how it came through in my business was like a completely different person 3 years ago. Like, so that was 3 years ago. Yeah, completely different person now.
It can be fast, right? When we lean into the lessons and when we lean into, like, "This is gonna help me move somewhere,"
Mm.
versus getting stuck. We all get stuck a little bit in the, "Did I make the right choice?" Or, missing
Oh, I knew I
missing the
did.
pieces. Yeah, you did. I mean, it sounds like you did, but, like,
Yeah.
thought I did, and then, I hit, like, a couple weeks where I was just, "What the hell happened? Like, why did I get
Mm,
knocked back on my butt again?" It's that recovery recoil, right? You move forward and you get sucked a little bit back. But I'm
yeah.
curious, were you always into human design, or did you find that as part of finding yourself post-divorce?
No, I have always been into astrology. I'm heavily like I know astrology like it's like I could have gone and become an astrologer, but I really love, helping people build businesses and everything. So it's always been like, give me a date of birth. I need to know you and I need to see your chart. And so it's been like ever since I was in my early 20s. And then when human design started coming around, about it started getting popular around 2019. Couple, I was in my groups where people are like, "Have you heard of human design?" I'm like, "No." And so I found human design in, I think it was 2018. Somebody came up to me and said, "I think you're a generator." And I went, "What's that?" And she said, "You have to look into human design. This takes astrology and everything to the next level." And when I saw it, it was kind of that same reaction as you. It was like, "Oh my God, this is what? What is this? I don't even understand it." You see this kind of chart with all of these centers and numbers and lines and all of this stuff. And I just started learning about it. I really just started learning about it. And it became more of a knowledge, but when I left, it became embodiment. So it was very like I started to, the reason is it's like, why am I like this? Why has this, what's happening right now that's in my chart? And so it was almost like I'm watching it unravel in real time. So yeah, before it was like, oh yeah, you're this, so you're this, and this. And it was coming more from knowledge rather than, yeah, like pure lived experience. And that's what the change was.
I love that, and the listeners know we've had some astrology people on, so we've talked about the moon and the different signs and the different poles, and I've always loved astrology, but
Mm.
even astrology was complicated. Now
Yeah.
there's some easy pieces. What I've loved about astrology is there's some easy pieces. You could understand your
Mm.
sun, you could understand your moon to understand your emotions, right? You could understanding your, like, Saturn return, some of the other big your
Mm.
rising, your a few key things. So I
Mhm.
approached human design in a similar fashion when I first learned about it, did my
Yep.
chart, and then
Yep.
I was like, "Great, tell me what to do with this." And there was no easy solution.
What are you?
Everything was
Do you know what you are?
Oh, but hold on, we'll look it up. So I am a manifester with a profile 6-2,
And your authority?
you know, solar
Mhm.
plexus.
Okay. Yep.
So
Yep.
that's me. I'm still learning
Okay.
about it, but I
Okay.
liked and we'll get into this in a little bit, you guys. Karla has a tool that helped me finally, like, crack the code on what all of these different complex pieces mean, and I just remember reading through that report and being blown away, being like, "Oh my god, that is me, and that is where I'm hiding, and that is the purpose that I wanna find, but I'm so struggling to get there so much more than what astrology was." And for me, I just like learning more about myself. I like saying, "Okay, this is a way I could look at it, and this is a way I could look at it," and then you bring those pieces in to be able to figure out where you're at, right? What do you wanna do next? How do you wanna leverage the skills or the talents that you have?
You pretty much explained human design, really. It's a self awareness tool. That's what it is. It's just like any other system that's out there. I find human design to be incredibly accurate, though, because it goes deep. It does include astrology, it's got I Ching, it's got gene keys. You know, it's just, there's, it's a system of different, and the person who channeled it was like, I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously, dude, you know, this is crazy. But it is, it's a self awareness tool. And it's not something that you can go, this is what I am. So now this is how I'm going to be. It's not like that. Human design, being a self awareness tool, is a mirror into who you are. Now, if you're conditioned your whole life to be something different, there is going to be a period of like, but I don't feel like that. But how do I do that? But and all of these conflicting beliefs and identities that kind of come through when you start to understand yourself. But most people, when they do say the 7-figure business blueprints, like, I've never felt so seen in my life,
Yes.
and they cry. It's not just like, oh, this is how your business is going to grow. I mean, that's literally how your business is going to grow when you are doing you. Um,
Mhm.
but that's literally been the major feedback of like, holy shit, what?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so just to say, human design can be a little bit. You can approach it simply. Your energy type, your profile, and your authority. They're the main things. Just like your sun, moon, and rising, you can kind of approach it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, when I got it, I remember that there were pieces because I did this November? 4 or 5 months ago is when I first found this program, and so I did it, and I was at a point in my business where I was feeling really burnt out. So I had been working really, really hard to get the things moving in the right direction, and then as a solopreneur, you you feel like you never get it done, right? There's always something else, and there's always a new nurture sequence, and then there's always a new launch, and then there's a social media post that has to go out, and then there's the podcast every week. And so I was feeling like I was still stuck on that uphill climb, which
Mm.
you also feel when you're trying to rebuild post-divorce. And so when I did the 7-figure blueprint and it pointed out, like, here's where you are not aligned, or here's where you're getting lost. I had felt so seen. I printed it all out. I highlighted it. I put it up, by my desk. I was like, yes. And this is where I'm still stuck. And that's why I can't move the marker. And that's what I think is so relevant for divorced women because we get stuck in the patterns of doing the same thing. We're still doing it. We're still trying. I'm working so hard. I was working so hard, but I was fighting my own natural energy. Like, I don't have the go, go, go every single day, but when the wind comes into my sail, I am up till 2 or 3 in the morning. And within 1 or 2 days, I will have ideated, written, launched, loaded, recorded the entire new program. Like, that's what
Mhm.
happened with the Wild Woman, which is our moon manifesting. That's what happened with the blueprint, which helps women define who they are. Like, it was there for a while, just percolating. But then when it
Yep.
hit, all of it. And then I had to
Yep.
not work the next day. And it was the 7-figure business blueprint that gave me the okay. It gave me the permission slip to say, that is who you are. So stop trying to be the 24/7 go, 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 maintaining this structure. And once I saw that and understood that's just how I work, then I could lean into it. I could lean into big rounds of creation and then taking that time back and unplugging or doing what I need to do.
You do have the 2 line, so that's what it is.
It's a big all or nothing. I'm like, all business all day. And then, okay, I need like
It's a
2 days.
dance, it's a dance, it's a dance between, so, and this is actually what made me embody my design. I didn't have the energy anymore to do my business the way that I used to do it after divorce. I was in like, as I said at the beginning, I was getting texts and then my whole body would go into shutdown for a whole week. I couldn't do anything. And so the way I was building my business one-on-one, doing done for you stuff as well as coaching and, it was just I was doing high ticket. I had to do master classes and do lots of content and things like that. And so I didn't have like a sales system. It was all me and couldn't do it anymore. I could literally only take one client at a time. And I'm like, I cannot build a life like this. I can't look after my kids like this. I can't do my purpose like this. And so when I learnt about my 2 line properly, instead of seeing it like, oh, I'm just a hermit and I hate that part of me.
Yes.
I want to go because I'm a manifesting generator, which means you're the manifester, the ideas, it's like you're going. I'm got the generator part, which is the doing, and like I will burn myself out completely if I don't have the right things and the right systems. So yeah, when I just realized I can't do it the way I used to do it. I mean, I built so many systems and platforms and funnels and all that for clients over the years. I never did it for myself. And I went, well, now's the time. Now's the time. And I spent 8 months rearranging everything. And it's so funny because the blueprint actually came from, because when AI came out, when chat, exploded on the scene, excuse me, my brain just went because a client asked me and see this is where I'm going to tell you in real time about human design. Your authority, the way that you do things. So my authority is sacral, but the way I do things as a manifesting generator is to respond. Yours is to initiate. So a client asks me, I don't know how to apply my human design to my business. How do I do this, Carla? So I'm sitting here tired. My brain's not working properly. I probably got a text from my ex or something like that. And I'm just like, fuck. I have to sit down and write this all out for her. And I'm like, I wonder if it can tap into it. And so I started asking it a few questions and I was like, this is so fucking spot on because I know what to ask, right? So, and I know what's coming back. And then I went and spent a whole week writing this prompt, which became this mega prompt. And I said, all right, babe, I'm going to put all your chart in here and we're going to do this. And I gave it to her and it's like, what do you think? And she was like, holy shit. And then I said, hey, some other clients and can you do this? And they came back. It's like, oh my God, what is this sorcery? And so I decided to sell the prompt. And I was the first person that started this because geez, you don't put AI and spiritual stuff together. That was just like, but it spearheaded a whole industry. And yeah. And
Right.
then the
And I
seven
think
figure came after that. Yeah.
the beauty is we need to know how to leverage tech, not just
Hmm.
let it run us. Even just go back to the tech of our phone. When
Hmm.
iPhones launched, when smartphones launched, right, they all of a sudden started owning us and they'll own you real fast if you
Oh, they
don't
will.
understand how to make it work for you. And so the same thing with ChatGPT or AI or, all of the bots that are out there. How
Hmm.
do you make it work for you? So the first one, you guys, the one that I strongly recommend you do, even if you're not trying to launch your own business, is the 7-figure business blueprint because it breaks down all of your pieces to understand who you are in human design. And I know that was one of my questions for you too. When I'd reached out, I was like, hey, my listeners are divorced moms, mainly divorced moms. Not everybody's trying to launch a business like you and I do. Everybody's just trying to survive though, and everybody's trying to figure out how do I manage my energy? And you were instantly in agreement that it still applies to divorced women. So if the women who are listening and don't want to launch a business, they can get the link down below in the show notes and my affiliate link is down there so I do earn a small commission off of it. What do they need to do differently or how can they leverage it when they do it not necessarily to grow a 7-figure business but just understand more about themselves?
It's smart enough to like when it says at the beginning, because all you have to do is put your name in, your birth date, and and what you do. And then it applies to you. So all you have to say, and there's a lot of people do ask me, what if I don't have a business yet? What if, does this apply to this? Just say, I don't have a business yet, or I don't have a business, but I want to see how this applies to my life and my work, and how I can best do my life. Then it will adapt it for that. So it's actually really easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a life coach. It is literally like a life coach. Like you use it like a business coach, you use it like a life coach, an energetic coach, an astrology coach, a human design coach. It's pretty crazy.
Yes, because it does feel like you're talking to a coach, a person on the other side. It prompts you, are you ready for the next two? Are you ready for the next two? And you guys, I have it open on my screen right now. It was 25 pages of details about who I am, understanding, how I work and how I move and what lights me up and where do I get off track? And when I'm stuck, what does it feel like? And then it gives you a couple extra prompts you can do after that. But that's where I just felt like I was sitting down with you. And so often, we've all invested in lots of programs out there. And a lot of the programs, when they are scalable programs, okay, so that means that they're low cost and lots and lots and lots of people can do them all at once. So they don't take a lot of one on one time. They're already there. They just go on their own. They feel so automated. They feel so basic. This felt really personalized and it felt like there was a human on the other side. And it got me thinking, again, my manifestor side, I was running down the path of, okay, great. What one am I going to launch? And I had to put a pin in that because some other things came up first, but I think that there's a lot of power in being able to use it. Not to think that it's a human, it's not infallible, but to understand that it is a conversation back and forth. It's energizing to learn about yourself and to have somebody guide you through it felt really personalized.
And that was literally because I'm a 5-2, right? 5 lines like to fix problems. They see things and they go, how do I fix that? How do I make that better for people? The 2 line is a natural genius. Like you've got the 2 line as well. You've got a 6, which is like you share your wisdom through your life. Like you're at the age now where you're now on the roof. Like there's 3 stages of a 6 line. So you're now on the roof. You're in your wisdom now. So, but as a 5 line, it's called the magnetic leader. And, people come to me and project to me their problems and it's like, fix me. And so there was a few things around the 5 line I had to kind of resolve and embody in order to go further into my, visibility, because I do get lots of projections. But on the other hand, I was always like, how do I make this personal? Because I truly, like, I have a passion to help women know themselves. Like, it's a passion of mine. I used to have bad anxiety, I had depression, all of the things. And I used like, what's wrong with me? What's happening to me? And it drove me down the path of understanding the brain, understanding the self, understanding the energetic self, how it all works together. And when you understand how you're designed to be in this life, you start to become more unapologetic
Mhm.
and you don't take shit. And especially at this age, and there's so many things that come off that it's just like, wait, it's not a me problem. Like, this is how I'm meant to be. And can become a really beautiful self-love tool as well. It's like, as I said at the beginning, I hated my 2 line. Now I freaking love it. I'm like, no, this is where my genius is born, man. Like, I'm not getting out of this. I'm not going to show up on social media when I'm in my little cave. I'm going to keep creating because I know that when I come out, people are going to want this. And that's what happened with Empire by Design, by the way. So I kind of like disappeared for like 3 weeks. I'm like, hey guys, I got this.
I will
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah. So your other program that just launched too, and I did dive in because I was like, okay, let's go check this out. I think it took me a couple of your emails because I did already pay for Chat GPT. I did already pay for there's another astrology specific chat that I was like, hey, let's try this. We tried this too. And then I dove in and I regretted every other purchase I've made on AI bots. And so I'm in
Sorry.
the process, right? I was like, dang it. Now I have to unwind myself because I've spent some years in these other chat bots, right? Building so it understands who I am. I would say that Empire by Design got my tone, my vibe, my frequency much faster.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm in the process of moving, like cutting the other ties and moving over little bits at a time, leveraging it more, moving through it. I love that
See,
one too.
Empire was another human design, like, because now in my business, I only respond. I only move with my sacral authority, which means and people out there is like, "What the fuck is that?" And we've all got an authority, and it's how we move and make decisions. And if you have a sacral authority, if you're looking up your chart right now and you see sacral, you know that there is a little like yes inside of you immediately and it lights you up. And that's a generator and manifesting generator thing. And if you don't move on that, or if you, it will fade out. And that really good idea, you'll see somebody else do it and you'll be like, damn it. But it's one of those things where it's meant to be. It's within you and you have the energy then to do it. So anyway, it was a sacral hit. And it had been building for a couple of months. And a lot of people, because people are leaving chat because it's becoming really generic. Now, 7-figure still isn't. I still love using my 7-figure because I built it, I've coded that. So it's not just a generic chat thing. But still, my client magnet content GPT, even though it's full of my frameworks and everything, chat GPT, the languaging on that is really hard to it won't listen to your instructions, put it that way. It wouldn't listen to my instructions properly. So you still have to edit it a little bit, still have the frameworks, but it still was, it's not this, it's this. And honestly, and all of the isms of chat GPT. And then something happened also with chat and supporting the war or whatever. I was getting lots of emails going, can you do your GPT on Claude? And I started using Claude and Claude's fucking amazing. And the languaging is so much better on Claude. Somehow it just understands. And so I started playing and there is no way you can replicate a GPT on Claude. It just doesn't have the same capability. So I decided to build a program instead. And I went, I don't want to what's the word? I didn't want to kind of what's the word? I'd eliminate the need for, say, 7-figure or client magnet content. I built it as the next level. It's like, okay, you've tried that. You've learned the systems. You've learned your messaging. You've found out about yourself. That's great. Now let's graduate to the next system now that you're really ready to build. And so Empire by Design is literally all of my framework, all of my coaching. It's built on your design and your astrology. I am now integrating transits, which means that you've literally got a co-star pattern, whatever, for your business. Like it's guiding you how to create content. It's guiding you how to build your business. It's literally, there's nothing like it out there. So yeah, it's crazy. And there's going to be integration soon as well too. So
Yeah, I love it because originally what I was doing is I did the blueprint and I would save that PDF and then I'd have to start a new chat in ChatGPT and I'd be like, here's my blueprint. So
yes.
I'd log back into the portal. I'd be back in your AI model and
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, here's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where I'm stuck. Why am I stuck? Why is this not resonating with me? Right? Like I would use it almost as that coach to help point out the things that we often can't see about ourselves because it's so close. And that's what I have my blueprint up right now. There were a few pieces, right? So if you're wondering, you guys, you're sitting there, should I go do this? This is what we mean when you feel so seen. It wrote, I put in what my birth date is, all my goods, and I said, hey, I'm a divorce coach and a podcast host. And so when it came back, brand essence, you're the woman people come to when everything falls apart. And what they find in your space is not hope, but reclamation. And with your manifestor fire and your Scorpio moon depths, you cut through the confusion like a soul surgeon, bringing wisdom from shadow into light. It then identified, which is always a problem for me, right? You magnetize women in emotional transition who are ready to take their power back. You repel people who want handholding instead of initiation. You repel clients who resist taking radical self-action. And that was always a big thing, right? Because I'm sitting here as a divorce coach and I can tell you, full confession, rip the Band-Aid off, right? Come to the backside. I will tell you, I don't want to sit in a container with you of 6 months, you complaining about your ex. I don't, because you don't have to stay in that shitty mode. We all were there. I was there. I get it. And at a certain point, you have to decide, like, I'm done living in that story and I want to move somewhere else. And that was a big differentiator on me being able to find my confidence of who do I really want to work with? What are the right women that we're calling in? And it just continues to get deeper and deeper.
That's just the brand blueprint. That's just a little mini blueprint at the
It's
beginning.
just
There's like 12
tiny
sections.
tiny, right? Like energy keywords, your magnetic way of being, your, let's see, people, how people experience you as the shadow states. I love this because I love a good shadow work session because
There's the Scorpio moon.
yeah, and it's like the nth degree Scorpio moon. It's like all the way, it's deep in there. But yeah, I love like, let's find the shit. Let's bring it up. Let's unearth it and let's move it out. And so when it saw that, Shadows I Need to Watch, it gave you pieces to understand. Then it kind of breaks down, like Gene Key 22, role modeling from your emotional wave. They're just and actionable tips. So the other cool part about it is that not only did it help you understand, but when there were places it's like, hey, if you're out of balance, if you're drained, this is what's going to happen. And here's the tips I want you to take if you're stuck in that. Because I was burnt out. I was stuck in some places. And so having those clear tips, I love a good task list. I was like, thank you. Now I can do something because I do love the woo and the do. Great. We got a big old 25 packet of the woo. Who am I energetically? But what do I need to do to move through it?
That's it. That's it. And a lot of people come to me and say, "Does this work?" And I went, "Well, if you do it, it
Always work.
does. If you're gonna just read it and just cry or whatever and move on, no, it's not." So it's the woo and the do. Absolutely. I'm a big, we can have awareness all we want. If we don't take action, your life's not going to change.
It doesn't change. Yeah. And it just gave that extra insight than looking at, and I don't have my astrology up in front of me, but what is it? Your ascendant, descendant? The lesson you're in this lifetime to learn
North
that has
node,
the
south node.
opposites, North Node, South Node. So I'm a Leo. Leo, what's the opposite of Leo? Gemini? The group. I'm
I
either
should know.
right? Well, we're
I
not
should
we're not here
know.
to talk about
My
astrology. We're
brain.
here to talk about human design. But here's what I'll tell you because without all the things. The piece was that in this life, the Leo energy, the spotlight energy, the stepping outside of the crowd and being confident to stand in who you are and what you want to say and how you want to be versus the last, energetic life that I led was part of the crowd, not wanting to differentiate myself, not wanting to stand out. I knew that. I've, had astrologers run my chart. I've had people coach me on that. And yet I still, when the moment came, did I want to stand in the spotlight? I sat down. I moved back into the crowd. And when I finally did the 7-figure blueprint, that's what gave clear, actionable steps of, hey, this is what it looks like. If you're still hiding in this lifetime, this is what it looks like. And here's how you need to start moving forward. So for those who are listening and you do feel like you're stuck in the same patterns, that's where I cannot rave enough about, go to the link, grab the download, do the program, give yourself a little night to sit through it and read about it because it just gives you enough to start taking action to truly create change.
That's it. And I wanted to create something as a low ticket, not just a throwaway thing. My biggest mission is to help women make money. Okay, not just any woman, but women after divorce. Like, think about how we find ourselves completely stripped. Okay, even if we might get money or whatever, we don't. But I've known lots of women thrown to the side, and it makes me sad. I see a lot of women come to me and say, I need to leave my husband, but I have no money. I need to build a life, but I don't know how. I need to live my purpose, but I don't know how. And all of that has led me to create this. It's like, this is like literally your map. And it's not just a throwaway. Like, I could have charged so much more for this, like really, but that feeling of, no, I want to help as many women I can. So I'm not going to charge like there's been some crazy charging out there in this coaching world, and I'm not going to be one of them. I want it to be accessible. I want amazing work to be accessible. So as much as I can do it and leverage the amount of people, I just give back from overflow then. And it's funny because usually I'm the refiner. Like, I'll always make things better and better and better. But with the blueprint, like I just
It's
did
there.
it and I don't need to touch it. It's like so on point. But it's because I refined that prompt over and over again. And when I put it into a GPT, I made it even deeper as well. Cause obviously anything that I relaunch, I made deeper. Yeah, I went into every single part of the chart that you can to find whatever it was. So yeah, that's why it's so deep and so particular.
That finance piece is such a huge worry. I mean, every woman that I have worked with has come in, even when my example was I was the breadwinner and I still got rocked because you don't have two salaries because numbers are shifting anytime you're getting
Yeah.
divorced.
course.
What would be your top tips for then a woman? Let's say this woman already has more of a corporate salary. She doesn't need to go launch a whole new business, but she is trying to figure out a way to make more money. She's trying to figure out a way to shift some of those financial pieces. Is there a certain prompt or question or piece of her human design she should look at or lean into?
Well, in the seven figure, it's you can literally ask that. So talk to it like a human. Does give you your whole reading, but afterwards it becomes a coach. So it's tapped into your whole chart. So if you say, where in my human design or where in my astrology can you see where I can leverage? So I'm just about to get divorced, or I am divorced. I'm struggling with this. I don't want to build a whole business, but I want to add to the side. What can I do? And where in my human design can I leverage my wisdom, my strengths, my superpowers, and what can I look out for? And literally just ask it that and watch the magic come back at you. It did. It helped me build. I was so with the prompt, I was at 20, then I went to 60, 70 grand a month. When I launched the seven figure, I was using it to launch my own business at the same time. It's like the launch plan and everything like that. And it brought me to seven figures.
Beautiful.
So no, there
Yeah,
you
the
go.
tool is there. It's,
I just did
understandable
it.
yourself. Yeah,
I
you
just
just did
literally
it.
did it though. So yeah, it does work as long as you do. Yeah,
There's just such a desire. Women are looking for that. What's that way? And they don't want to waste a lot of time. We don't got time to
mm,
waste. We're now single moms, right?
we don't.
We want to be able to figure it out and figure it out fast. And that's where tech and understanding who you are can
Yes.
help to bridge that gap. That's when it collapses time and can make things move really quickly.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that when you read something like this, it's like it's human design and astrology is a self awareness tool. It's a tool, not a rule. Okay. So the one thing that I always want to do is like it's already in you. It's not something that you're told, it's a mirror to who you actually already are. So your job literally then is not to take it by its word, but to feel it. And does it resonate with you? Does it feel like, how is it triggering you even? So if something doesn't feel right, is it triggering you? Why is it triggering you? So use it as like a self help tool to better understand yourself, not to go, oh, it's told me to do this. So now I'm going to do this. So it's literally like going to therapy or handing over your power to a coach. Oh, they told me to do this and I'm going to do this and not think about anything for yourself. This is literally tapping in to get to know you, and that's a you job. Do you know what I'm
I love
saying?
it.
So
I do. I do. And I so resonate with that statement. You guys, there are lots of people out there who will tell you they have a set path or you need to do these steps or you should be over this by now. But you know what your soul or your inner being needs, what it's craving. You're just lacking the confidence to be able to hear it because divorce rocked your world. And so whether you look at, joining one of the programs, like the club, we've got the divorce membership, or using the seven figure blueprint tool, it helps you understand you. It gives you that permission slip to say, oh, okay, here's where I'm struggling right now, but I'm going to keep moving forward. You get to define it, you get to create your own path, and it's based on who you are instead of what worked for somebody else. And
well,
so,
coming out of divorce, we usually have been in codependent relationships, giving self abandoning, a lot of self abandoning, especially, if you've become a mum in the whole process as well. Not saying that, if you're not a mother, it's, you're not doing that. But I think it's just a part of you, but it's one of those things that when you come out and you go, who am I now without all of this? Who am I?
without all of this,
It's big.
it's such a huge question. And then we layer in, we didn't talk about it today, but we've talked about it a ton on the show, nervous system regulation, right?
Oh, well.
Because your nervous system's been living in survival mode. So you're like, who am I? Your nervous system is like setting off alarms that you're under attack constantly. So having the right tools, the right support system just grounds you a little bit to be able to hear your way forward.
But
I
that's
want to,
it. So I was under such nervous system dysregulation, even building my seven-figure business. But it was because I understood who I was and worked with my energy rather than against it, that I was able to do it. So I don't want to hear anybody saying I'm too dysregulated to build a business. It's like, no, just don't outsource your power. Take it back. Give yourself grace. Do you. That's that.
I love it. And what a powerful note to end on. Karla, I want to thank you for joining us today. And thank you for the amazing tools that you have created so we can all understand a little bit more about our passions, our purpose, and who we are meant to be in this lifetime. You guys, all of the details to connect with Karla Maree and her programs are in the show notes. They're also online at thecrazyexwivesclub.com under episodes. Until next week, give yourself some grace. Go check out the 7-Figure Business Blueprint. I cannot rave enough about it, you guys. It changed my life in one night, and I want you to experience it as well. And that's it. Another great episode of the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, a podcast for women learning how to heal from their divorce. Tune in next week for more advice and tips to help you figure out life after divorce. And until then, give yourself grace, do the best you can, and know that this is all part of the process.